Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. I'm not really a Commanders fan, but they got the Giants and Bengals the next couple of weeks, so I am excited to see how Jaden Daniels handles those tests. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium.
TD, Tutty, take it to the house, in for 6, whatever you call a touchdown. One thing's for sure, touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, from the special teams or defense, we don't care how they score them. We want to bet on touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. I'm not really a Commanders fan, but they got the Giants and Bengals the next couple of weeks.
We need to talk it out, nigga. You feel me? We got something to talk about.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jones. Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. Sometimes a little late, but always on time. Jenkins and Jones podcast. It's Monday, October 14th. We got a bunch of fun stuff to talk to y'all about today. We are doing Dookie Butt of the Week at the end, and we've got a great weekend sports recap. A lot of fun stories to talk about from over the weekend. As always, Jenkins and Jones hosted by LaJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. Draymond Green.
You really asshole. What's that, Bubba? Nigga.
Dragonfly Jonez, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a good.
Cardi B, a.k.a.
Motherfucking Mike, nigga. Motherfucking Mike.
And as always, we're produced by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffron.
What's up?
And the equally lovely and equally talented Josh Rodriguez.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm just gonna tease this, and I'm not gonna make any other reference to it. Josh's Dookie Butt of the Week will be one of the most shocking things you have ever heard on this podcast.
And with the Knicks hat on, we already know what time it is.
So you definitely want to listen to the end. And if you're in the chat at youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones, we want your community Dookie Butt of the Week at the end of the show as well. Just a little scheduling update. Thursday, we're doing our Love is Blind recap for the episodes dropping Wednesday. Mina Kimes will be joining us for the second half of that show. But we'll be going live, I believe, 2:30 West Coast time. Is that correct? And then Mina will hop on. Yeah, Mina will hop on for the second half of that. Very excited about that. Shar caught up and is now has listened to the pod. And I now have 3 conversations about Love is Blind going. The conversation I'm having with her watching the show, the conversation I have with y'all on the pod, and then the conversation I have with her after she listens to everyone else's opinions on the pod. I can hardly keep everything straight.
Content.
Okay. Our weekend sports recap. Tyler, I feel like we're getting closer to the brink because this is what I will say of watching the Commanders-Ravens game. The Commanders team is not going to win a Super Bowl this year, but I do feel like that game, even in a loss, was an announcement that they are going to be a contender for the Super Bowl in the future. And they are ready to be a fun team to watch even against the best teams right now. Is it still simply beat the Panthers this week and you're back as a fan?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at because, like I said, that's a game they should win, and Washington has a storied history of not winning the games they should win, and I'm not signing up for the same old shit. But I do not feel like this is the same old team. I mean, they impressed me so much on Sunday with how they played against the Ravens. Jaden Daniels had 270 yards, 2 TDs, has only thrown 2 picks all season, and both of them has been picks, which is a wild stat. Tips, which is a wild stat. And bro, he's the truth, man. That kid is the truth. But, like I was telling y'all in the group chat, a big reason why I might come back to Washington fandom is it just feels so good talking shit to Cowboys fans. Those motherfuckers got smacked up so bad yesterday, and I was just talking shit wow, imagine having questions at the quarterback spot. Couldn't be me. You know what I'm saying? Just rubbing it in with the homies and shit. And it is my hate for NFC East teams has has surpassed my love for Washington for quite a while. And my hate might be what draws me back too. Hate is a very strong motivator. So yeah, like I said, if they beat the Panthers, if they win the game they're supposed to win, if they show it's a new day, that they take care of the business they're supposed to take care of, I'm back.
This is an exciting day.
I was looking at the schedule because I was like, oh, I wonder who is after the Panthers, because who will be the first team the Commanders play when Tyler is fully back on the bandwagon. And it is none other than the Chicago Bears with the first overall pick, Caleb Williams, which is going to be an amazing showdown.
Yeah, the NFL put this shit together. This is the season of the rookie quarterbacks. Tyler, would you mind sharing the text you sent with your friend Marcus?
Yeah, shout out to the homie Marcus, man. Been my dog for a minute. He's from Dallas, DeSoto, actually, right outside of Dallas and shit. So grew up a Cowboys fan. And he texted me. He was like, "Man, fuck your QB." After, during, and I was like, "Hey, it's good over here." I was like, "Look, we got a good black quarterback, and he's not the Dak Prescott back to blue ass black. He's a real motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? I was like, it feels good to have a black quarterback who I know ain't gonna be donating $1 million to the police. You feel me? So, yeah, man.
He looks like an R&B producer. Like he produces R&B music.
I believe you also had an analogy about Dak's full name.
Oh yeah. And I was like, Dakota Rain. I was like, that motherfucker got a name like a horse. Like, who? Dakota Rain? That is a horse name. And that's your quarterback? Come on, man. That motherfucker needs to go to Churchill Downs. Feed that motherfucker an apple and put a wreath of roses around his neck. He is not an NFL quarterback, dog. Dakota Rain. Get your ass out of here.
How bad was the game yesterday?
Oh, they got spanked, 47-9? The Cowboys.
Who was they playing?
At their spot. Detroit. Detroit is legit. Like, Detroit can win the NFC, bro.
But 40-9 is crazy, though.
Yeah. It was 47-9 or 49-7, something like that. But it was the worst home loss that the Cowboys have had since Jerry Jones bought the team, and it was on his 82nd birthday.
On his birthday.
And the picture of him sitting there looking like a fucking melted milk dud is the funniest shit. Like, he's just like, nah.
I told you, that motherfucker looks like the bottom of your big toe when you get out the pool, bro. Jerry Jones, man. He got that Jimmy Carter going on. I'm just like, bro, how are you still here? Like,
to look at a human being and see a bottom of a big toe is crazy. I remember the last time I seen the bottom of a big toe. That had to remind you of something you ain't seen in a long time, nigga. That's
exactly
crazy.
what that motherfucker look like, though.
Man, you're right about Jimmy Carter, though, bro. The way they wheel Jimmy Carter out there to like air him out is it's fucking crazy. He's not even in a wheelchair. He's on one of those like hand dollies. You know what I mean? It's just fucking like popping back like a Halloween decoration. Fucking like
dog. He had the point where his mouth is like constantly agape. Like dog, it's time to die after that. Like if motherfuckers gotta hit your mouth with the turkey baster to keep your shit moisturized, it's time for you to go, dog. You had a great run, 100 years, goddamn. Like
unbelievable. Shit. But he's been in hospice for like 4 years, bro. Yeah, this shit doesn't he has had and beaten cancer since getting into hospice. That shit does not make any fucking sense.
4 years. That motherfucker went to hospice college. he did undergrad in hospice, dog. Like 4 years. You're supposed to be in that motherfucker like 4 weeks or so, dog. 4 years?
He's supposed to have had that diploma for sure. That was not supposed to be a 4-year course.
I'm talking about he's sticking around to vote for Kamala. Bro, please give that man his favorite steak and let nature take his course. Like, he deserves that. Like, he deserves that, man.
Eating solid food gonna get him out of here. Yeah. That's just saying. Like,
give that man his favorite steak, put some butter on it. You know that's all he's wanted, and let his digestive tract, finish the job here. Like, I think we owe him that.
I'll say this: if he votes for
college,
if he votes for Kamala, that would be the first actual case of voter fraud in America because he would not have any idea what he's doing. Yeah, it's just like someone's definitely holding his hand to fill that little circle.
Like if someone has to hold your hand up, isn't that legitimately like illegal? Like, can he legitimately do this on his own free will? Like, that is a legit question. All jokes aside,
Well, I had a poll worker one time because I always take my kids to vote with me, be like, oh, they can't go in the booth with you or it's voter fraud. And I was like, I'll take my chances.
If Jimmy
You want
Carter,
to call the cops on my 4-year-old going in the booth with me or whatever, like you feel free. You know what I mean?
if Jimmy Carter has to go in a voting booth without an escort, that motherfucker will never leave. Like,
He's never coming out.
he's never he'll be there forever, dog. Like,
You let the weight of the pen take its natural course. He's just gonna be on the ground.
he's like he's like fucking Mr. Burns, but not evil, basically.
I was just about to say that when they were trying to get Mr. Burns' blood out, and it was just like it just kept going all the way through, and it was dust.
I just looked at a picture of that, man. Ooh.
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Patrick in the chat said, I thought the wind might have been too much for Jimmy Carter. I thought he turned into dust like in the Avengers.
That motherfucker get hit with the snap. Yeah, man.
He's smiling and that shit look painful. Fuck that shit.
He does not have the correct amount of skin on his face to attempt to smile. Like
I don't even want to laugh no more. I feel
it's like when you're trying to get hit, the skin on his skull is like when you're trying to get the last two little nurgles of peanut butter out of the jar to spread it on a kid's sandwich. It's just there's just a light dusting of skin over that skull, bro.
But it looks too heavy for the muscles in his face. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's pain, you know what I'm saying, behind that smile where there shouldn't be pain. Nigga, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I know there might be some listeners saying, "Why are y'all making fun of that old man? You should be blessed that you live that long." No, motherfucker,
Yeah.
I do not want that. That is not a blessing, dog. Like I said, 75 or 80 or so, that's good enough for me, dog. You know, 100 is wild, bro.
100 is cool if I'm not moving like a nigga that's 100. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like when you look at this image, he might as well be 130. Like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm not. There's people that you see like that's 100. Damn, now you see him. Oh, he 100 for sure.
Yeah, oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Like Char's auntie just turned 100. She walks to the store to like, you know what I mean? That's like, you're 100 and you're living.
She says she's 100. You're like, wow, I would have not imagined somebody moving like 100.
I would say she's like grew up in Hawaii on a pineapple plantation and like speaks pidgin and shit. So she's looked 100 since she was like
that son
years
was
old.
That son
you know
was,
what I mean?
well,
like, yeah.
She's 3 pieces.
Jackson will confirm that Hawaiian people, it's like they're young. And then the next day they are ancient. Like there's no aging process.
Did y'all ever see that clip of that woman who was at like her 96th birthday or some shit, and she was at a party and surrounded by family, and she blew the candle and was like, "Hey, what you wish for?" And she was like, "I hope this is my last one." Like that's what I'm wishing for. Like, hey dog.
A lot of old people, I'll be like, are you afraid of? No, I'm not afraid of death. I think it's gonna be peaceful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to a certain age, and I feel like, you know, living is cruel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I used to talk to my grandpa about it all the time. He was Catholic. I was not religious, and I would ask him if he was afraid, and he was like, no, because either I'm right and I feel like I'm going to heaven, or you're right and I'm going to sleep. And I love both those options. So
yeah, win-win. Deep philosophical panderings brought to you by a big toe comment.
All
from
right.
Jerry Jones. What a podcast.
Like the bottom of your big toe is crazy.
Happy Monday.
Hey, the better the metaphor, the longer the tangent. You know, that's a corollary.
Happy Monday.
That's the Jenkins and Jones theorem right there. The better the metaphor, the longer the tangent.
Crazy.
We had a great Philadelphia sports moment, which is Nick Sirianni beating the Browns, not losing to the Browns, but beating the Browns. And in the midst of said game, turning around to argue with Eagles fans who had been booing him and possibly starting fire Sirianni chants. Doesn't seem like a good idea. I'll be honest with you. And then apparently brought his children into the press conference to service.
As a force field?
That's a nicer way of saying human shields, but yes. brought his kids in to like, you're really going to ask me about yelling at the fans with my children here? Tyler, as a longtime NFC East observer, is this the correct way to engage with sports fans in Philadelphia?
See, you can't do what he did when you're on the hot seat and you beat the fucking Browns. right? Like, and the thing is, Philly fans are not sensitive. Like, they would love the shit talking back, but like, if he did that after the fucking Eagles punched their ticket to a Super Bowl and he was talking shit back to the fans, he'd be a legend with the Philadelphia fans for that, right? Like, but bro, you're on the hot seat. We thought you might not make it through the season at one point. I think that's still on the table. I think the odds might have gone down on that a bit, but we'll see what works out in the offseason. Like, I would not put money on him being back next offseason, but bro, bro, you can't be a loser talking shit, right? You got to talk your shit when you're really that guy, and he's not that guy right now.
Not that guy. Josh had a theory that I actually really liked about Sirianni being the ultimate Philadelphia guy.
Yeah, I think they hate him because he is them. Like he is Philadelphia. He's the personification of Philadelphia. He's an obnoxious, petty, just
Italian,
insufferable Italian, just horrible human being, and they see themselves in him, and they can't stand it.
Yeah. It's true, because what's the first thing an Eagles fan would do if they made him head coach? He'd turn around and start arguing with the motherfucker.
That is literally exactly what every Eagles fan in that at the link would do exactly what Sirianni did. Maybe even worse, but close to what Sirianni did. And then bring their kid to the press conference so they don't get,
kids to the press conference is crazy.
Yeah.
My kids are with me at work, but not in times of strife. Not in times of strife. If we were going to be grilling someone on Jenkins and Jones, John would not have Shola there. Like, you can't dodge these questions. I have a baby.
I might though. He's young enough. Baby girl wouldn't be there. She might remember the shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
See,
Right.
Okay. So I looked up Sirianni's contract. I see why he's stressing now because he only has 1 year left on his deal. He's not gonna get,
he should just reach a point of acceptance and not be stressed about it though. That's he's gone. I
think if he was on like year 1 of a 5-year deal, he probably wouldn't give a fuck. But he wants that re-up money, dog.
You're gonna get it as a coordinator. You're gonna get that coordinator paycheck, brother. You know, hope you've been investing in the right stuff.
What's their record
group
this
chat
year?
with Saleh, dog.
What's their record this year?
Shit,
they are 3-2, and they just barely beat the Nasty Man by 4 points yesterday.
That motherfucker has to go, dog.
The thing that's saddest to me about them continuing to play Deshaun is that they have Jameis Winston, correct? Who is like the opposite vibes person, who is like the exact opposite vibes person. So I feel like it's like, if you're going to be a shitty football team, I don't care how much you're paying Deshaun Watson. At least give the fans someone that it's fun to root for. At least give the fans someone they're not going to have to like walk back their fandom of.
Yeah, your options are a guy who is as happy to be playing football as possible, or the guy who's openly revolting against his quarterback, saying, let's go for it on 4th down. He's just walking off the field.
Dude, number one. And then number two, he's settling fucking lawsuits in batches. He's doing batch processing of lawsuits. Like, I think ESPN had a headline. It was like he settled 12 lawsuits. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Anyway, God bless Browns fans. All right. Should we talk a little baskety hoops?
Hoops. Oh, yeah.
I believe everyone was excited to talk about Demon Donte. Is that correct? I do.
We have a new rivalry on our hands. It looks like we're like 1 or 2 games a year. But
yes. The Timberwolves were playing in New York, and Donte DiVincenzo was scoring and yelling. I think in a good-natured way at Tibbs, yelling. That's what happens when they let you run the show.
I don't think it was good nature.
You see that free throw line shit? He looked like he wasn't fucking with that, man.
Yeah.
Really?
You didn't see the post game? You didn't see?
I saw the post game. I thought that was on some other shit. I thought I thought they were like clowning around during the game. I didn't watch the game. I just saw the highlight.
He seemed very serious. Yeah, he seemed okay. So he's at the free throw line and he's doing his free throw routine, and he says, "I can't finish, right, Tibbs? Ain't that what you said?" And hits the free throws, and then after the post game shit, when the teams are dapping up and everything, he walks past Rick Brunson. He tells Rick, "I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Tibbs." I don't know if you clear up a joke. You know what I'm saying? I think he meant that shit, dog.
Yeah.
Whoever was doing the ESPN recap was burying bodies on purpose then, because they said it was like good natured, but then the post game stuff got kind of tense. That was how it was characterized in the article I read.
I didn't see the post game shit. I just saw the video of him at the free throw line, and that looked like he wanted to smoke. Like the energy that came off that, like the mannerisms was a nigga like, I'm getting my issue right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting you know how I fucking feel, which I love to see that type shit.
Yeah.
I want to see a motherfucker, stand on his nuts, you know what I mean? In a particular way. I thought it was beautiful. 10 out of 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I already like Donte. He
him-
just showed like the type of nigga he really, really, really is. You know what I mean?
And someone else asked him, like, I don't know if it was before the game or after, but it was a clip from the locker room. It must have been after, I guess, where someone asked him, would you rather hit a game winner over Josh, Mikhail, or Jalen, all of his old Villanova teammates? And he just said, I'd rather do it in front of Tibbs. I was like, this guy's a king. And then he also, after that, in one of the scrums, he was like, I'm just a competitive guy. Like, once the game starts, like, I'm going to be competitive with whoever I'm playing against. He seems to have both be very serious about talking shit, but also have a very correct and responsible attitude about it, where it's not like so personal. It's like
maybe that's why the
ruin
beat
his
writer
life.
was kind of walking it back, that it was like he's saying this is just how I talk shit to everyone. There just happens to be more history with Tibbs. I don't know. Josh, you are a Knicks fan, obviously currently wearing a Knicks hat. How did you feel? First of all, how did you feel about it? Because I know you like the guys that you lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you feel about it?
Well, I mean, Dante's obviously pissed off. I don't understand his beef with Tibbs, though, because Tibbs inserted him to the starting lineup, gave him the freedom to do whatever he want. He had a career year. He had an ultimate green light. So I don't understand where the beef is coming from unless he thinks that he's the reason why he's in Minnesota right now. Aside from that, man, it's weird because I kind of feel like I'm on Team Dante here. I liked the Knicks the way they were, and it's weird watching this team play because now I feel like I'm rooting for a different team that I have to get used to. And Dante's a piece that I didn't want to let go of, and he's also somebody I think could have helped the team moving forward. I don't think he's somebody you should have got rid of. So it's one of those things where it's like I'm a Knicks fan, but I can obviously where Dante's coming from. You have a career year with the team, and you help them advance to almost Eastern Conference Finals, and you're a huge part of that. And then they just kind of toss you aside after 1 year. So I think he's in his feelings.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think with good reason though. Tibbs doesn't have a really good reputation with players. You know how the Athletic does those polls surveying the players, like who do you think's the best player in the league, blah blah blah. Like they would do a survey. One of the questions would be like, who was the coach you least like playing for? And Tibbs won that shit like 4 years in a row, bro. like he is a dynasty of disliked coaches. You know what I mean? In that fucking survey. So yeah, bro. Like I mean, and Tibbs does have his issues. Like we all know that. The whole running shit with him is, bro. The only reason he won't play you 49 minutes a game is because the game's only 48 minutes long. Like that motherfucker does not know how to manage minutes. He runs players into the fucking ground. But yeah, I mean. For sure, I think that, Dante expressed something that we weren't privy to. We didn't find out this until Dante said it. And we know for sure Tibbs had to have said it, and it got back to Dante. So,
yeah, I'm a little shocked, though. Like I said, Dante was one of Tibbs' favorites last year. It wasn't like he was in the doghouse, like he took over Quentin Grimes' starting spot. Like he was one of the guys. So maybe he feels betrayed. I don't know where that's coming from.
Obviously, Jalen's the best player on that team, but Dante is the most New York Knicks motherfucker in the fucking league. You know what I'm saying? It makes so much sense for him to be there. It's so weird to see him in a different jersey. I don't know why Tibbs would want him gone.
He's not Minnesota nice. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, that's a New York thing to be in there and talking shit to the coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's very, you know what I mean? So it seems weird. But also like, the Villanova connection there. Like, they had just got all 4 of them there. You know what I'm saying? He never got a chance to really play. I think that sucks, bro. But I mean, if he really wanted Dante going, I just don't know how that makes sense at all.
Yeah, I agree.
They play each other on December 17th in Minnesota, and then
put that shit on Christmas, bro. Come on.
January 17th
Yeah,
in Madison
well,
Square Garden. Neither of which is on national TV.
Yeah, run that shit, bro.
Flex the Christmas schedule.
Also, that's a 2 good teams, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, run that.
Yeah, and the Knicks have the Spurs on Christmas. Like I get it's Wembley, but like the Knicks and Spurs, like they're not rivals. There's no bad blood there.
Maybe might show out though. Maybe might show the fuck out. Wemby has those games where he can compete with anybody.
But that's put Wemby with a home game against the worst team in the league. You know what I mean? Let's see if he gets a triple double with blocks on Christmas.
Right.
You know what I
like
mean?
Chet versus Wemby. Like
Yeah.
the Thunder
exactly.
versus the Spurs would be cool.
Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I like Christmas games to be like playoff previews or finals previews. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Mhm.
those the Knicks and the Spurs aren't meeting anywhere in the postseason, dog.
Period.
But they could do I wouldn't mind them doing like the SEC non-conference schedule for Wemby either. Like give him a game that like a lot of people are gonna watch that he'll just absolutely showcase the full alien skill.
And I know
set.
I know it's for sure gonna be in the Garden. So Wemby in the Garden, you know, I can see that.
That'll
being
be
a
cool.
big draw. So
Yeah, that
I
would.
wonder how Ant and DiVincenzo get along because they seem like they would connect. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? I was looking at Ant and talking to Cat, and I'm like, I want like how does Ant feel? Like, damn, I wish I would love to be here in the MSG because he got the MSG vibe too. You know what I mean? So, you think Ant stays in Minnesota?
I think yeah.
All them damn
money,
kids he
that
got,
money.
he gonna need that bird's right money, bro. He might be a lifer. Like, god damn, that motherfucker, man.
Hey, how many shorties got?
Shit, he got 4 now. His newest one. You ain't seen the newest drama. He's taking little baby's baby mama to court because he says the kid ain't
I heard about
his.
that. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you though, bro. If I was an NBA player, yeah, I'd have about 12 out here. I'd still be just as involved, nigga. You know what I mean?
Involved
You can't be involved with 12 kids in 10 different states, John.
Well, we figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
On the NBA schedule.
You pulling the Cam Newton right now, dog.
Nigga,
Like,
nigga,
there's no way
I'm
you can
trying
be
to tell
present in
I'm
12
telling
kids'
you.
lives the way they need you to be, dog.
Oh, we home. Hey,
Money ain't everything, man.
One of them's in Florida, one of them's in New York.
This is a hypothetical situation, so this doesn't have to be approached with a whole bunch of seriousness. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm thinking, you feel me? Like this is my thought. You know what I mean? As a nigga that's not taking this, don't have NBA money, and I'm not gonna have fucking 12 kids. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have me a little like it would be a little block. You know what I mean?
You have a compound?
Yeah, in a country city. You know what I mean? We might be Huntsville, Alabama. Buy us a block up. We all, you know what I'm saying?
The women who are getting pregnant by NBA players are not going to move to Huntsville, Alabama, dog.
I mean,
they're
like
telling you,
shit,
they're
so,
telling
yeah,
you
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right.
I'd have to make some decisions, but yeah, I'm just saying.
I agree.
I to take full advantage of that money and have a bunch of shorties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no,
I don't know if I'd be having little babies, baby mama. I don't know if I'd move like that. You know what I mean? But you know.
But I do know what you mean, and I knowing like pro athletes who come up from when they're in high school, I always feel that way whenever people are like, oh, how's this person doing this stupid thing? It's like, can you imagine if someone gave you fucking $20 million when you were 20 years old? Can you fucking imagine that? I was a pretty well-adjusted kid, and I would have probably not survived it. Like
niggas buying Lamborghini trucks, I'm gonna just have a shorty. You know what I mean? Drive me a Cutlass Supreme. Give me something real, a box Chevy, and have me some kids. You know, get that little $15K for the box Chevy. I'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's fucking awesome. Do y'all want to talk baseball at all? The Dodgers are up 1-0 in the NLCS. They've now
congratulations beating San Diego though. I know your nuts was in your fucking throat. You know what I'm saying? That was a big win.
We needed badly to beat the Padres. First of all, because fuck the Padres. fuck the Padres went up 2-1
yes
in the series.
Yes.
Talked like they won the World Series and proceeded to score 0 runs in game 4 and 5. Not 1 run in games 4 and 5, bro. Get the fuck out of here. The Dodgers are now up to 33 scoreless innings in a row in the playoffs, which is a tie for the Major League Baseball record, which is insane.
Mike's trying to jinx the bullpen game they got going today. Jesus Christ!
I mean, it's not even. I'm just so shocked it happened because it's the exact like I was with my friends last night who are Dodger fans. We were saying like every Dodgers fan was like our pitching is we have the worst staff in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, heading into game 4, all of the reporting was like Dave Roberts mismanaging the hell out of this team. He's going to be gone in a week. And then it's like, he is a god. He has managed this perfectly.
I'm going to speak up for Dave Roberts, who happens to be almost the exact racial mix of my wife. Dave Roberts is managing the fucking hell out of the Dodgers, and they would not have won the Padres series without him pulling the like, you have a bullpen game that's a shutout game. They threw like 7 pitchers in a shutout game. That's fucking preposterous, bro. He made every decision correctly. I mean, I like the only thing he's done literally the whole playoffs was I wish he would have realized one game earlier that he should play Kike instead of Andy Pajes. That's it. Like, it's been perfect. Like, and are they going to, obviously they're going to give up runs. Obviously we're going to lose games to the Mets. I'm not at all, like, I'm a baseball fan. They're probably going to lose the series just because it would be the worst thing that could happen. But what they've done to this point and shutting up the Padres was incredible.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That first game, I didn't mention it because y'all took that L, but that shit homie did where he stole Mookie's home run and let Mookie and no one in the fucking arena knew it. And he let Mookie get to like third.
Yeah.
like third before he showed he had the ball.
It was cold as fuck.
Damn.
That was cold as fuck, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that you have to remember about that is that Mookie was about to break going 0 for 21 on a streak in the playoffs going back to last year. And instead, no, it was not a home run. It was a fucking fly out. So that was, I mean, you could see, and I felt like it took him 2 games to get over that shit. And it was literally David Ortiz, because he was teammates with Mookie in Boston, called him. And literally, this is what he said: "You're Mookie fucking Betts. Stop pressing." And he hit a lead off, and he hit a home run in the first inning the next game. And he hit a home run in the first inning the game after that. It's the dumbest sport, bro. Like, imagine Joe Montana calling Tom Brady, being like, "You're Tom fucking Brady." Like, it just like wouldn't happen,
I mean, that makes sense. But also, like, like when you're hitting, you don't really have time to really, really, really think. It's coming so fast, it's all instinctual. You know what I mean? So if you're pressing, like, dude, that it's the percentage of a second you have to decide whether you're going to swing and what,
like,
you know what I'm saying, or not.
Or something,
Nigga, is so abnormal. You can't think. It has to be instinctual. You know what I mean? And it's say like, yo, you know who the fuck you are is a big deal to remind a nigga who he is. I don't have to fucking think, nigga. Right. Just what my body naturally wants to do is where I need to follow. You know what I mean? And to have from David Ortiz, you know what I mean? So yeah, like
David Ortiz, man, who was teammates with Mookie Betts and won a World Series with Dave Roberts.
Yeah. Yes, an interesting bridge. And he's been trolling too, which I love. He used
to give us hell in the motherfucking World Series. The Cardinals.
Yes.
Oh my, the Boston.
I had a David Ortiz fat head on my wall.
Did you really? Oh, I forgot you. I always forget you're a Boston sports fan.
Impossible out in the fucking World Series, bro. Impossible out. Jesus.
As a Yankee fan, David Ortiz is the one Red Sox who I don't hate. Actually,
you just can't hate him.
I can't wear a Boston hat.
You can't hate Mookie
because of what he did to us in the World Series. Because of what they did to us in the World. Boston and Cubs hats, you will not see in St. Louis, nigga.
Right.
Like, we know why we hate the Cubs, but like Boston hats, because of how they did this in the World Series, particularly Ortiz, nigga.
There's no sets affiliated with a Red Sox hat.
That B on your hat got me tweaking a little bit, keeping a bean. Shit, that had my nerves bad, nigga. Every time I see that motherfucker. They was cooking us, bro.
So today we've got Mets Dodgers game 2 is at 1 p.m. on the West Coast and 4 p.m. on the East Coast. Fuck Yankees bias, bro. So that the Yankees can play at 4:30. God bless. Yankees-Guardians game 1. Nothing would be better for Major League Baseball than a Dodgers-Yankees World Series with fucking Shohei and Judge. Like, we sort of joke about this with the Lakers in the playoffs. I don't think that Major League Baseball is like sending directives to umpires, but I am confident if there is any funny business going on, it will be in favor of my team. And so I feel like it's a good security blanket. Like, they're not going to fuck the Dodgers out of being in the World Series to play the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Josh, how big of a Yankees fan are you?
I used to be a huge Yankee fan. Baseball used to be my favorite sport until I was 12, 13, and I got like, I don't know, a few series for me. But yeah, I used to be a huge, not anymore though. I'm like Tyler with the Commanders. It's like back in the day I was huge, and now it doesn't really matter. But
you gotta keep up with it, but not for real. Like,
and to be honest with you, I've been watching the Mets more than the Yankees, just because the Mets, the storyline behind the team this year, they've just been a lot more fun. And I've always looked at them as like little brother, not so much like a team that I hate. So I root for the Mets too.
If we get Japanese superstar Shohei Ohtani versus the New York Yankees in the World Series, I will be locked into every pitch like I was 8 years old. I will be so dedicated to. I will shape my life around watching the World Series like I haven't done in 15 years.
It will have been a long time since there was a World Series that had so much casual fan interest. If it's Dodgers Yankees, like but you have the superstars on both teams, you have the biggest fan bases on both teams, huge markets, like. that would be a fucking title fight. But because I've just said that, the Yankees will lose to Cleveland or the Dodgers will lose to the Mets. Like, because every year it's the same shit and it has not happened. So we'll see. All right, we got to talk about
how
this.
good has Judge been this year?
He's Ohtani and Judge, I believe, will be the 2 MVPs, correct?
Okay.
There is a discussion on if he had a better season than Ohtani, who had a 50-50 season.
Wow.
So he's been amazing.
Yeah. His
issue was striking out at one point. That's not an issue anymore.
No, because he's touching
everything now.
He led the league in home runs, and I think he was like top 10 in batting average too.
Oh wow.
Which is
been a horrible postseason,
which is a big change. She's having a bad postseason.
Horrible postseason.
But Shohei's kind of impressive too. It's just like ESPN had a headline today. Is Aaron Judge not built for October? Like, give me a fucking break, bro. He'll hit 2 home runs today, and it'll be, you know what I mean? As like Shohei, like he had a home run in his first playoff game. He struggled a little bit, and then he had like 19 RBI last night. Like it is similar to basketball in that the swings between games are even bigger in terms of player performance. And the narratives are just as big, like, but it's goofy. It's like, like guys go on cold streaks. Mookie Betts was like, so he was like 0 for 22 in the playoffs. Do you not want him on your playoff team? Of course you want him on your fucking playoff team. Right. He hits 2 home runs the next 2 games. Like, it is what it is.
He just got settled in, man.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Sam Mitchell and Chris Miles and the most awkward beef that we have seen thus far. 2 NBA TV co-hosts on the pregame. I think we all know is certain OGs, that you just know you can't make jokes with, bro. Like, and Sam Mitchell seems like one of those dudes. Chris Miles made a joke about his paycheck. And Sam Mitchell literally was like, just aired everything out. It was like, oh, should we talk about your rental properties here and here? You would just like,
dog. And for one,
like, he sound like the IRS, nigga. I'm like, golly.
Dog, and I feel like Sam Mitchell took that shit all the way wrong. Like, I think the joke Chris was making was on himself. He was like, I'm sure the salary you're making doing this is pennies compared to the coach's salary you made. Like, that was the joke he was making. I guess he took it the wrong way, like saying you just a broke motherfucker all around. And you know what I'm saying? And then he got on him about that. But that shit was just weird. But Sam Mitchell has a reputation of just having a reckless mouth. Like that story Jalen Rose told about how Vince Carter put that motherfucker in the goddamn John Cena finisher, like said that motherfucker lifted him up off his feet and had his whole body horizontal across his shoulders in the fucking training room because he said something slick about Vince Carter always being injured. And he said, and Jalen said everyone on the Raptors who was there laughed at their coach getting stretched out. Like nobody liked that motherfucker, dog. So yeah, it's not surprising that it's coming from Sam Mitchell. He's just always had a reckless mouth, bro.
Also, I feel like the reaction having him pull up to his house, like, nigga, it's unnecessary. And the dude, I texted y'all, I'm like, the dude already has those eyes that
you talking about Chris Miles.
Chris Miles always has those eyes that has a little pain behind them. So his smile looks kind of like, you all right? You know what I mean? Like already. And so like, it's just like, this is not going to be believable. This is like, it felt like they were rehearsing lines. Like, it's like, he was waiting for Sam Mitchell to say his part so he could jump in and say what he was supposed to say. It felt so forced, man. Like, we don't have to do all that, nigga.
Yeah, that
we
video.
don't care enough.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't give a fuck about them enough. And that video is just, bro, that shit was so forced. We could tell it was so scripted. Like
for people who didn't see the video, that like NBA TV clearly asked them to do a reconciliation video because Chris Miles went to Sam Mitchell's house, and then Sam Mitchell proceeded to put his hand in a not so friendly way, in my opinion, on the back of fucking Chris Miles's neck for the entirety of that video. And it was one of those, like, you could see them both starting to roll their eyes when the video was over.
Yeah, bro. Chris Paul's like, yeah, pulling up on my homie right now. And then at the end of it, he's like, all right, and just dip. Like that is not the homie, dog. Like if I had to pull up on Johnny and we were shooting some shit, I wouldn't just leave after that. We'd shoot the shit a little.
Go inside, we kick it, smoke something, chill. Sam Mitchell, like he was on the way to play golf. He was like, let me get this over before. Let me get this before I go play 18, nigga.
Want me? You're really gonna make us film this shit?
Right.
Okay, look, I got a tee time at 12 o'clock at the country club I live at. 11:54 and 30 seconds is the longest I can go. So if you can get here by then, we can fucking do it, I guess.
He can step a foot into my house and take his ass back home. You know what I mean? Like that's where we going with it. It's just unnecessary, man. Just let it be what it was going to be. on camera, and then let it go. People talk their shit and move on. You make it worse when you try to lie to folks and niggas could see the tears and homies. Not really. I mean, I don't think he was really hurt like that, but you could see that it was just uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
I think that, and the other thing is, like, I think because all 5 of us work in media or have seen what the other sides of videos like that look like, the only thing I can think of when I see that is you film this video and there's 2 or 3 people standing off camera. Like, you know what I mean? That like went with Chris. That was like, we got to get the fucking team there because he's got his golf time. Like, so there's nothing natural about that, right?
Somebody had the production team to pull up while you go
sound up with the video. You know what I mean? Like, okay, and action.
If he'd have pulled up with his phone and was like, "Hey, man, like it's all fun and games for sure, but just want to make sure everyone knows, like, this is my guy. We're at his house having dinner." Like, it was the opposite of that.
He's talking into the 6K camera. You know what I mean? Like the Black Magic 6K. You feel me? Like that's what I think. If that's the homie, you pull up with the phone, y'all kicking it. Why y'all
right?
You don't stop by. Yeah.
Their producer is watching the reconciliation on the 4K OLED monitor that's on top of the camera.
right. Pressing buttons. And those are my wife's properties. Are we doing this? That was weird. We don't need to know that. Maybe there are some IRS shit going on. Nigga. You feel me? Like, oh no.
Dog, he dropped the address on TV, bro. Like,
he said Addy, did he? He said Addy?
He dropped the actual address on the second. Yes. They kept going. There was a second clip where he came where he dropped the address. Like, dog, that motherfucker did research to shit on his co-host. Like, that motherfucker hit the Googles and put in some shit.
Because I was trying to see if I could rent the place out.
Yeah. Fuck that bitch, man. Call Vince Carter up. Put that motherfucker in the Lex Luthor torture rack again.
Because the little nigga built like a thumb ain't got nothing for Sam, nigga.
Yeah.
That nigga looked like a slug. I'm like, what is
Good Lord. All right. It is Dookie Butt of the Week time. We do want the community Dookie Butt of the Week. And I'll tell you right now, Josh is going to go last with, like I said, possibly the most shocking Dookie Butt ever uttered on Jenkins and Jones. I will go first. My Dookie Butt of the Week is J. Cole. If you're going to stay out of it, stay out of it. Like, we don't need the director's commentary on why you stayed out of it. We don't need the fucking, the sit down panel interview. Like, just, you made the right decision. You were applauded for making the right decision. We don't need to hear about what you would have done, why you didn't do what you would have done. Just, you made the right call. Continue to make the right call.
Yeah. I just like, he dropped that verse and he said some shit like y'all don't understand. If I'd have lost the battle, I've also lost a friend. And my whole shit is this. We have seen how the beef has played out, right? The chapter's closed on that. Kendrick never truly wanted to make J. Cole the primary target here. That motherfucker genuinely disliked Drake. Like, he legitimately does not like that dude. And J. Cole was just in the way. J. Cole was just someone who gave him a reason, because like the shit that Kendrick hopped off the deep end about was he was looking for a reason, right? All J. Cole did was say, it's the big 3 on a song with Drake. And Kendrick was like, Drake, I fucking hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell that Kendrick's agenda was to go at Drake. Like, he'd have gave Cole a bar or two, or maybe even a little light verse, and he'd have left it at that. But he would have not been on his head like he was on Drake's head. We could tell that his whole agenda was to getting Drake out of here, bro. So I don't understand why J. Cole didn't even stick to his guns. So like I said, bro, you'd have just got a little tippity tap and then he'd have moved on to the main objective there. But yeah, it's just wild to see him just talk all this woulda, coulda shit. Because bro, we saw what you did. You backed out, and this track you dropped was weak as fuck to begin with. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just a big deal because we finally got some action. We finally got somebody going back at Kendrick. But that shit was trash as hell. No one remembers it. The beat sounded like some Tekken tag bullshit. It was just a terrible song, and it was a lackluster showing. And you can't try to rewrite history like you took the high road here when you dropped some bullshit. And lore has it that Schoolboy told you, bro, get out of this because shit's about to get real with Kendrick and Drake, and you backed out.
Oh, Schoolboy did it? Schoolboy a real one for that, man.
Yeah.
I do think what he says, like, if he would have like stood on it, and I know like he might have been throwing a little, he wouldn't have came at him like he came at Drake. But if I'm Kendrick, you know how much I don't fuck with this weird ass, goofy ass fucking niggas, and we really homies. and for you to still stand and try to beef with me, even if y'all ain't standing right next to each other, it come off across that way. It might be fuck you too, goofy ass nigga, because you a goofy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what time it is. You know what I'm trying to do with this shit. You feel me? So go on there with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get where he would come, but also like you made the right decision. We all agree with you.
Right.
We don't need the context. We saw it. You feel me?
You
we
only
saw
need the
real
right. You only need the context if people disagree.
Nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga, goofy ass. We already there. We don't. And you don't need to insert yourself in what happened in any way. We got exactly what we wanted and needed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like just go ahead and make actual songs now.
Yeah.
You
J. Cole had a legitimate misunderstanding of how ugly that shit was gonna get. Like he thought it was gonna be a cute little wilding out battle. Bro, motherfucking Kendrick was sharpening his machete. Drake was putting barbed wire around his baseball bat. Shit was getting real, and he thought it was gonna be a little cutesy back and forth. No, motherfucker. That's not what they were here for. Both of them were out for blood, bro.
J. Cole brought his actual pen to write, and they had weapons. He was like, "Oh, brother, I don't."
Motherfuckers had bazookas and shit, and he brought a motherfucking felt tip pen.
I thought this was the poetry circle meeting. I'm sorry. Is this the armed revolution?
Let me take my dreadlocks home, brother. You know what I mean? What the fuck, nigga? Bro.
Tyler, who's your Dookie butt of the week?
It was gonna be Sam Mitchell, but I guess I've got to give it to like the 11-time winner Elon Musk again. Did y'all see this motherfucker roll out them weak ass robots? Did y'all see that shit?
Oh my god!
Yes. Oh my god. He made iRobot.
Yes, bro.
With them weak ass motherfucking robots, and for one, they're not even market ready. Like there was literally a dude like moving, you know what I'm saying, who was connected to the shit and moving and making the robot move. So the shit ain't even market ready. And two, the motherfucker had a robot being a bartender. That motherfucker is not human. Elon is not a human being. Who the fuck wants a bartender that's a robot? Motherfuckers, bartender is one of the occupations that is exclusively, you know, the foundation is the relationships that they build with their customers. You know, they talk shit with them. They talk real shit about life. They talk, you know, shoot the shit with them about sports. You know, they introduce them to new drinks and shit. Like people go to bars just to see bartenders and because of the rapport they build up there. And this motherfucker wants to put a robot at that job. Just a severe misunderstanding of how humans work, bro.
I truly think Elon Musk like wants to ruin the world. I think he just wants to ruin shit. I think he has a evil intent with his decision making. I feel like there's because it's so dumb. He could be this stupid, you know what I mean? But I'm like, it just doesn't seem that he would be that dumb to do this. You know
I don't think it's dumb, and I think it doesn't really matter if his intentions are evil or not. Like, I think the things he wants to do are evil, but I agree with Tyler that it comes out of a fundamental kind of misunderstanding of what normal people are like. You know what I mean? Like, I think in his head, a robot making him a drink is like, I think he thinks that's amazing. And I think yeah. And I think he did, like, because it's like we've talked about with like the jokes he's made on Twitter where he's like, well, the people I've surrounded myself with think that's funny. And for all of us, we're like, any person would know that's not a joke you should make. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's got, and I don't want to be ableist or like speak down on like a community or whatever, but it's like, I think he's like he's got a different brain. He's neurodivergent or whatever. And I think he just does not like get how regular people feel about human beings. That's my feeling.
If you look at, okay, he made this, it looked like the nigga from iRobot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It looked, and you saw what happened in iRobot.
No,
like,
I know,
what,
but they showed his like 3 of his designs were clearly taken out of iRobot, right? And I think that's exactly it. I think he saw that movie, thought it was cool, completely missed the point of the movie.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? And was like,
wow.
Which I have friends who didn't understand that the moral of Scarface and Godfather was not that the mafia is cool. You know what I mean? So like, you know, like I have friends who've misunderstood morals of movies. I do think it's tough to miss the moral of iRobot so badly, but I do think he watched it and was like, this is sick. This is how things should be. So to your point, is he doing that because he's trying to destroy humanity, or is he doing it because he is, you know, not appropriately equipped? It doesn't fundamentally matter. It would be evil if he were to carry out everything he's trying to do. Regardless, I would say the SpaceX rocket ship shit. Did y'all see that over the weekend?
Mm-mm.
They sent a 70-story rocket up, brought it back down, and caught it like in an apparatus so that they can reuse it. That's been like one of their focuses, is making rockets that don't just like go up and then like go away or whatever. So they sent one up into space, brought it back down, and then it got captured, like it was caught in midair so that they can reuse it, which is that's dope as fuck. That's
But haven't they? I thought they've been putting the motherfuckers in reverse for a little bit, where they shoot them in the air and then it would have like kind of like a propulsion type situation where it would slow it down and land.
This is the biggest one that
okay.
it's been done with, and then it's like a different type of thing that like has the capacity to go further and stuff like that. The reason for that being, if you are trying to go to other planets, which allegedly people are, you've got to be able to land that shit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
Yeah.
Also in space news, the Europa Clipper took off today, a NASA expedition. They're sending a rocket ship to the biggest ocean in our solar system, and it will get there in 2030, which is
what planet is it on?
I believe it's on Europa.
So it's not in Europa.
I think that's the name of the planet.
Is Europa a moon or some shit?
It might be a moon. Okay, now I gotta Google.
Yeah. What is? Yeah,
I read about the rocket ship, but I thought this was really cool because I feel like this is one of those recipes we assume
it's in our solar system.
Yes.
It's Jupiter.
Our solar system. Our solar system's fucking enormous, though. Like we will not live to see us out of our solar system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. 2030. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never heard of Europa. So, and it's interesting that the biggest body of water is on a moon and not on a planet.
They think it's beneath the Europa's icy crust. I think there's like a ginormous subterranean ocean.
So the biggest body of water is on a moon and not on a planet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But also Jupiter is
Jupiter's
like,
moon.
I think Jupiter is like
enormous.
1,000,000 times the size of Earth.
For sure.
Like
so that moon is probably how much bigger than, you know what I'm saying, than Earth is. You know what I mean? So.
But if you're a doom and gloom person, as I can tend to be, I just want to give you the image of my daughter's third grade class watched the ship. They watched the Europa Clipper rocket launch today. And then their teacher is telling them all about the ocean that may be under this, that, you know, likely is under this icy crust, what they might find there, what they're hoping to find there, all this other stuff. So a bunch of third grade kids have not lost the recipe of realizing how small we are in the universe, which is a cool way to get your brain poked as a fucking third grader.
What are they trying to find?
I think they're trying to find, first of all, like they're just trying to understand what, you know, we know that water is needed for our conception of life. And so it's number one, just to like, oh, what's going on? Number two, okay, I don't think there's plans to inhabit it, but it is a way to learn about what's different about our oceans and water versus oceans and water and other places. But you know, there's been like millions of articles about like, is there or was there water on Mars? And so to actually just be like, okay, it'll take 6 years, but let's just send a ship to like
another
a place we know where there is. Yeah, you know, I mean, like obviously there is water because there's ice all over the whole thing. But like Jackson was saying, they have very good evidence that there is actual oceanic movement underneath it. So, no, Tyler did his Dookie Butt. Jackson, your Dookie Butt of the week.
My Dookie Butt of the week is John.
What happened?
Because the story is that my family is coming to Southern California from Seattle, which is great. My parents are going down to San Diego to see my brother first. They're going to drive up here to LA. We're going to do Christmassy shit here. And then my mom was like, oh, do you want to actually meet us down in San Diego? We could play golf. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And one of the most famous golf courses in America is in San Diego, Torrey Pines.
Absolutely.
And because my brother is a San Diego resident, he gets like a discount on rates at Torrey Pines. So we're going to go get to play Torrey Pines golf course in late December. I'm very excited. And I don't golf much anymore. I used to golf a lot. Last time I hit balls with John, like a couple months ago. John and I text about golf sometimes. And so I texted him over the weekend, yo, isn't this really cool thing? I get to go play Torrey Pines. Also, like, I'm going to need to practice. Like, me and you got to get out on the course or whatever. Nothing.
Texted
When I
me?
tell you no response, not a single even, not a like,
Are you
not a
certain
single
that-
anything.
I didn't.
3 messages, probably 70 characters.
Damn.
Absolute ghost from John Nichols.
Oh, man.
Absolutely dick.
Yo,
Absolute
bro,
nothing.
bro,
A zero burger
bro,
from
look.
John Nichols.
I want you to
I
know
have-
that
Wednesday-
he did respond to
Wednesday
me
at
within
11
5
a.m.?
minutes of you sending that text message. So,
I'm
yeah.
sure he
No.
did. I feel like it's
no,
personal.
No. Okay, bro. I'm like, I would. Apologies.
It's okay, I'm just
No.
kidding.
This is nigga. You feel me?
I see why you didn't respond. He gave you a signed reading. I didn't realize you gave him fucking homework, Jackson.
No.
John gets so excited when we text about golf, usually.
Yes. I don't. This is Wednesday. What was I doing Wednesday?
Ignoring me.
I did not see this at.
He just has a calendar hold from 7 a.m. to midnight that says don't respond to Jackson.
Don't respond to Jackson.
That Jackson, we need to hit balls together. I have no excuse. This is 10:57 on Wednesday. Like this was. I have no idea how this.
I was really excited. I
I'm
got the
sorry,
news we are going to
bro.
go play.
I
with my parents. I was
apologize.
like,
That's
hell yeah.
crazy. What? Stay.
It is interesting that you picked John as your Dookie Butt of the Week because I feel like usually the person who's been ghosted is the Dookie Butt of the Week. Is like on the Dookie Butt side.
No,
of that,
this
not
is
the
me.
Ghoster,
This is me.
Not the ghoster.
Usually.
That's how confident you were that he didn't intentionally ghost you. That you
Did you think I saw this and didn't respond?
I was just like, he probably got lost. He has 2 kids. He probably just is busy.
I like that
I
you
did
said
not see that at all. I am sorry.
It's okay.
Also, your mom is like,
It's okay.
I'm really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, you, this is dope. You're doing that. I feel like I don't want to let your mom down. I think she's so solid. And I'm sorry, bro. Let's play some golf for sure. All right, for
Let's
sure.
do it.
I'm gonna respond after we get off.
John, who's your Dookie Butt of the Week?
My Dookie Butt of the Week. Let me see. It's I tweeted about this, but I don't know if she was talking about anybody in particular. But she said this was a sentence. You're 46 in the Tybo class. It's time to get romantic. I don't know why that sentence is so funny to me. I think she's saying that niggas ain't romantic anymore. And it's like, you old, my boy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really gonna be doing the shit like how you was doing. It's time to move smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's time to approach romance. And even when we cracking, the shit don't move the same way you used to, bro. Like you ain't got the stamina or you feel me? But you're 46 in a Tybo class. It's time to be romantic. If somebody were to tell me that, that will be life altering.
Okay.
I would bust a hard right. Or you know what I'm saying? Or even, for the way I was going, we would go the other way for sure.
I like when Nas told Jay-Z he was 36 in a karate class, you Tybo ho. Since we're talking about beef earlier. Classic line.
Classic line.
Classic line.
You Tybo ho.
So somebody was, I don't know if I could say this. I probably shouldn't.
Say it.
I don't think it's bad. But anyway, somebody was saying there was rumors about Jay-Z being like Beyonce not liking men, whatever, right? And that's not what it was. That was weird. I mean, because I don't believe that shit. But they said, well, Jay-Z is close to. He does look like him. He does look a little butch.
Come on, man.
And I'm like, Jay-Z went from home to a motherfucker making a comment about him looking like. Man,
I'll say I think Beyonce genuinely does love that man. Like, you ever seen
For
her sing her little I'm happy to see my husband, like singing her that little song and shit. She loves that man.
I don't believe none of this shit, but I just thought that was a wild, that was interesting.
I will say the one conspiracy theory about Jay that I put way too much thought in is the thought that the Basquiat braids are fake. And every time I see him, I look at him like, oh. No, dog. Like, yeah. I mean, it only took you like 3 or 4 years to do all that. I don't know, bro. Like,
you think there's
I don't know, man. I feel like he gradually might have gotten the whole, like, he didn't pull a Jason Whitlock. Remember, Jason Whitlock was bald on one Friday, then on Monday he came back and had a motherfucking fade. Like, that was wild as hell. He didn't pull the overnight bullshit, but I don't know, man. That's the one conspiracy theory with Jay where I'm always just like squinting when I see that motherfucker. Like, I don't know, dog.
I think Jay is the one dude that you get what you see. I think there's a lot of weird people that are like fronting lying, you know what I'm saying, and pretending that. I feel like Hove is the one dude that like who I thought he was when I was younger, he is that. You know what I'm saying? Who he is now, he is that. I don't really see him being fraudulent because I remember they showed the videos of him when like everybody was like super goofy and like talking shit and all that stuff, and he just be looking at the camera like, I can't wait to get from around these motherfucking clown ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wasn't up. He wasn't for all that extra shit a lot of other niggas were, it seemed, at that time period. You know what I mean?
I don't know, bro. People get rich and get wigs. I don't think that's an indictment on his character. You know
I mean, I don't know. If you got
like,
a
people
whole
get
ass
rich,
Basquiat wig, I'm judging you.
Hey, motherfuckers get rich and get whole new teeth. They get whole new mouths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Everybody in LA got a new. You can't even have your regular mouth in LA. It's crazy, G.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who is our chat Dookie Butt of the week before we get to Josh's shocking Dookie Butt?
The chat's Dookie Butt of the week is Joker 2.
Oh, bro.
Movie, which is apparently the worst movie ever.
It actually came out.
Here's the thing.
It came out and it's apparently the worst movie ever.
Here's what I want to say. I thought that the first Joker was horrible and made for a very specific audience and was making fun of its audience, in my opinion. So I don't have any sympathy for people who had expectations or hopes for this movie. Everything about it, including the title, seems to me like they were making fun of the people who liked the first one. And I think Todd Phillips even had a comment that was like, I would never do a sequel except to shit on the concept of sequels. Like, so I dislike this type of art making. I dislike it from painters or musicians or filmmakers. Like, if you don't respect your audience or have some kind of affection for them, then like, just go do some other shit. Like, but I've heard the worst things about this movie.
I had to go grab my shorty. I had to go grab my shorty because I, left Jackson on read. I'm like, I am a good human.
Yeah, you had to get your force field out. Yeah.
I'm
like a John Sirianni over here.
John Sirianni over here. Respect.
The brand took a hit with that not responding to homies. That's nasty. That's nasty work.
Tyler, what would it take to get you to go see Joker 2? Just wouldn't do it. Look at him.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like a fun time. It doesn't even sound like one of those movies that's so bad it's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just sounds like a just flat out bad movie.
Did you see the first one?
Yeah, I thought the movie was cool. I thought Joaquin's performance was incredible.
I agree.
I thought it was way more incredible than the movie was. You know what I mean?
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I wasn't like clamoring for a sequel. You know?
Yeah.
And especially a musical sequel. Like, what the fuck is that? What are we doing, bro?
I like that about the Reverence. What's that?
With the
with
Leo
with Hardy?
The Leo DiCaprio movie?
Yeah.
The bear, when the nigga was in the bear, what's his name?
Revenant.
Yeah.
Revenant. What's the old boy name?
Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah, he was in the bear and shit. I felt like it's the same way where like Hardy had a great performance. I didn't even think Leo's performance was all that good. He just slept in a fucking bear. Good for him, you know what I mean? But like in real life, or whatever the fuck. But I thought Hardy's performance was really good, but the movie was fucking. What you laughing at? The movie was dry. I thought the movie was kind of like the plot was weird. Like the shots were beautiful. Everything was good about the movie except for the plot, which is why the fuck am I watching a movie if the plot's mid as fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
It was made to win. Like it was made to win awards, not made for me to enjoy.
Yeah.
And Joker had that kind of
agree.
vibe. Not to the point, not to the degree that Revenant did, but similar.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like that type of art making either.
Yeah.
I resent that type of art making.
John's a wounded animal right now. Anybody coming within swiping distance of John can get it very bad right now. All right. Josh, could you please reveal your Dookie Butt of the week?
My Dookie Butt of the week is the man that we used to celebrate on this day, my 16th great grandfather, Christopher Columbus. Direct line, 16th great grandfather. Christopher Columbus.
How did you find this out again?
Ancestry.com. He is my dad's mom's father's mother's father's 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 mother's father's 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 father. That is Christopher Columbus.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Holy crap.
Hearing it in that way makes you really realize how long ago that really was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope he's burning in hell, for the record.
He definitely is, brother. Oh, he definitely is. Yeah.
I can't imagine Christopher Columbus's like understanding of what the world now looks like, or that how many 16th generation descendants of his he has, who are probably not the type of people that he would have been excited to be related to. But I'm really glad that you exist to give two middle fingers to the legacy of Chris Columbus.
Fuck that man.
Yeah, fuck that dude, bro.
The biggest indictment on to me on there being a heaven and hell is you know how different the rules were back then on what you could do to be good.
Yeah, right.
What would get you into heaven that many years ago, and what would get you a life sentence now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The rules changed, did God change as culture and society changed? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? He was probably celebrated back in the fucking day.
Oh,
and now we want him to. We want that
celebrated.
Right. If we could, we dig his ass up and burn his ass at the stake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We create hell for him here. So
right.
I just how does that? I don't know how. Anyway.
No. That's 100% a part of my thing that clicked for me with religion at a young age. And the other thing was this, which I would always talk to my grandpa about, there were people alive for thousands of years before, you just happened to have been born in the country at the time that had the exact true religion. But if you'd have been born on the other side of the world 200 years earlier, you would have been of a completely different, you wouldn't have been Catholic. You wouldn't have been an Italian-American Catholic, right. If you were born in China in 1755, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I just never understood the certainty, you know what I mean? Of I happen to have been born.
Being that she went to school, and learned.
I think Char's not religious. She grew up in a Presbyterian church, but she grew up in a Japanese church with first generation Japanese Americans. So she sees religion, and it's why she studied it as a function of humanity.
Oh,
okay. So she's interested in religion the way we'd be interested in music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Human beings in all cultures around the globe, whether they're related or not, have always created music. That's something that we do for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how she takes more of that type of approach to religion.
As a creation, that is religion, not
our chat is so funny. And the moment that Josh dropped that news, everyone just rushed to say colonizer. They said K-Dot was talking to Josh.
No,
K-Dot was talking.
Don't do Josh like that. Josh,
I denounce him.
They're saying the Wesley Snipes gun meme.
I denounce him. I
denounce
everything that man stands for.
I know. Then everyone else was saying, thankfully, Josh is standing 10 toes down.
1000%. That man was a horrible human being. And my whole family denounces it. I speak for my family when we say we denounce him. 100%.
The Rodriguez branch of Christopher Columbus's descendants.
That man was the absolute worst. The absolute worst. And we did celebrate him up until 20 years ago, maybe 15, 10 years.
Right.
I mean, being Italian, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's still, I would tell you, there are still quite a few Italian people who I do wish that there would have, if a good compromise feels like it would have been just creating a separate Italian American Heritage Day. We have a day for all kinds of shit. We don't need to have Christopher. I would like a day that's like an Italian day, but that does not have Christopher Columbus's name anywhere near his history. That would be great.
That's why Christopher Columbus Day came about in the 1920s, because to quell anti-Italian sentiment. Motherfuckers were legitimately hated Italian people, and they were like, hey, an Italian, he founded America, Don't punch me in my face for being Italian. That was the whole thing behind this shit. And it's okay, anti-Italian sentiment isn't even really a thing anymore. We can do away with that, bro, or readjust.
Was it the Irish first and then it was y'all?
Irish and Italians were just
Irish and Italians, yeah, they were both
that was around
discriminated
the same
against.
time.
They were, I would
Yeah.
say they were viewed and treated very similar to how we treat currently like immigrants from Mexico or from South or Central America. Like that, that's how my grandpa always described, especially being in New York at that time. There were huge chunks of the city that you couldn't walk through or what that's why I think part of what led him onto the Fox News path was hearing the narrative of what like race in America was, and him being like, you're saying I'm part of a like white majority oppressive force, which he was. But he's like, I would like the white people in New York like would throw rocks at me. Like when I was going to school, like it was very different. And they picked the worst possible person.
The worst Italian. Y'all could have
literally-
waited. Right? Y'all could wait about 30 years for Frank Sinatra. Yeah, we could have.
Y'all could have done Mike Tirico.
Yeah, Mike Tirico
Had
That's what we
options.
need.
Like, give me a Sinatra day, like Frank Sinatra, great American. You know what I mean? Like incredible story, like overcoming all this other shit.
Printed
But like
people.
we picked literally of 10 million Italians, the worst like the 10 millionth Italian they picked for Italian American Day.
But like Josh said, he was celebrated for so long, and then like finally everybody, well, that might have not have been the nice. How did it take so long for us to understand these type of things?
Well, like you were saying about how differently things were viewed.
Yeah.
Tyler's point about the reason they used him was because they were like, look, like because his last name, he changes his last name. His actual last name was Christopher Colombo.
Yep.
Like it was changed so that people wouldn't know he was Italian because he was working for Spain, correct? I don't know why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Josh,
Spain. Yeah, he's working for Spain. He came over here. Yeah.
But so in the 1920s, Italian Americans were like, we're going to unveil this great source of pride for us that he is actually Italian, like, which is like the opposite of how any reasonable Italian American feels now, obviously. So anyway, Josh, we love you.
I love
we know
you
that
guys.
you're not a colonizer.
We
I
do.
appreciate you sharing that on the pod. I know that you have a complicated relationship with that and you do not really enjoy talking about it, but it was just
It's just
the
a weird
craziest
thing to
anyone
publicly
said.
say. Like, it's he's one of the most horrible human beings on like to ever live.
Yes.
To be kind of associated with that, but then also like I was on ancestry.com too. Like I found that like one of my great grandfathers like raped a slave, and like that's my great grandmother. Like that's where like my African side comes from. Like I'm a quarter African, and like my great great grandmother was raised by a slave owner, and then she had a kid, and it just like there's so much history behind all that. Like
Yeah.
I think anybody who lives in America, especially
Correct.
if like you're like me, who's like
you have brown skin.
yeah, man, if
Yeah,
you're like a
sure.
quarter African, whatever it is, like there's some dark history in the past, and you can acknowledge it. Just admit that it's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean that's sharp. Like I mentioned on the show, my wife is really into genealogy, and that's the stuff obviously that happened on her black family when you go back far enough is horrific. And then on her Okinawa and the Japanese side of her family, it was like her grandma got sent to Hawaii as a picture bride. Like she's literally in a documentary about picture brides, and in a museum exhibit. She's been interviewed for books and shit, but it was like she was picked out of a book because they were like just shipping wives from Okinawa to Hawaii for people. Like, so it's, yeah, like you said, if you're in this country, there's no like all research leads to some kind of horrible shit. And obviously the Christopher Columbus thing for you is that's like just the wildest example I've ever heard of that. But yeah, as anyone who's done research into that shit is, that's why I told Shar, I was like, you don't got to look too much into my shit. Like I got enough fucked up shit that I know about in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Anyway. All right, y'all. That's all the time we got today. What's that?
I had never heard that term before.
Yeah, and so think about it, because this was, like in the 1800s, late 1800s and shit. Like it wasn't like, the women would be told like, oh, it's a 25-year-old guy, like he's good looking, all this stuff. You get out there and it's like, no, it's a 60-year-old dude who killed his last wife because he was abusive. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have any control or ability to do anything. So yeah, it's crazy, bro. It really is. I'm always telling her she should, because of the disparity of her racial background. I always tell her I think she should write a book about the shit, because like I mentioned, she's got, like Josh was talking about, there's some horrible stuff on the black side of her family, obviously, when you go back to slavery times, but like it's representative of how people in this country have actually come into being, of all these disparate, insane things happening. And then you get a girl who grows up in Long Beach in a very different setting. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy for sure. And the stories she's come across about other people, or she'll do genealogy for our friends. Like one of her things, when one of our friends will be about to have a kid, she'll ask like, "Do you want me to like research your family for you? I could do this shit in a couple hours, and you'll know, all this history or whatever." But yeah, it's crazy, bro. All right, we'll be back on Thursday, like I said, for the Love Is Blind recap, which Mina will be joining us for the second half of. Very excited for that. We will see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.